What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we have the weekly reset for the 5th of September in Destiny 2. And so we'll talk about upcoming quests for the week. We've got the return of Iron Banner, but also the season story quest continues, and this week there'll be a new story mission. And then as always, we'll jump in and check out the main rewards and vendor inventories, including the Eververse refresh. Plus we'll cover vendors like Banshee and ShADA-1, key rewards and unlocks for the week, and plenty more in the video. So as always, I hope this one is useful guys. If you enjoy it, get subscribed for more D2 content. And now let's get into it. Initially, as we head into the game this week, we'll get new quest steps for the main season story quest. And so as always, we'll start out by speaking to Eris Morn, then we'll need to head into Savathun's Spire and get some kills. And ultimately, there will be a new story mission, which is Conjure, so it's pretty cool to have some bespoke story missions back in the season. And the final few steps will include returning to the holoprojector, visiting the radio in the helm and speaking to Eris Morn. So it'll be cool to see how the story progresses this week. And now, as we make it into the tower, of course we have the first Iron Banner for Season of the Witch. So if you plan on jumping in, of course be sure to visit Lord Saladin, and we can start making progress by playing matches and all that good stuff. As always, all of the rank rewards are featured right here on the front page at Saladin. So he's got a point of the stag with elemental capacitor and Vorpal weapon, and then a guiding sight, with strand damage now, and this has moving target and hatchling. So a hatchling scout rifle up for grabs there. Also hatchling on the pressurized precision, and we've got Impulse Amplifier, Envious Assassin on the Swarm of the Raven, and these are just the rank rewards of course. There are opportunities for random rolls and things like that, so let us know down below if you're going to be diving into the Iron Banner this week. Up next though, we get onto the Eververse store for the week right here, so let's focus on the Bright Dust stuff. As always, if you want to check out the silver things, you can always do that in game, but for Bright Dust this week, initially, we have the Dance Off exotic emote here for 3,250 Bright Dust, so let's have a quick preview of that one. Oh, I actually reset it. One that's been in the game for a little while, so something to add to collections there. Additionally though, for the Deathbringer, right here, we've got the Dragon Bone ornament that can be picked up for 1,250 Bright Dust. Been in the game since Witch Queen, but it's a pretty cool one there, so if you want to add it to collections, certainly worth visiting this store this week. On the front page, we also have the Swirling Leaf Entrance Transman effect here for 450 Bright Dust, so another quick preview of that one right there. And then for the front page shaders, initially, we've got Copperbrand right here, which is a rather interesting looking thing. As always, these will cost 300 Bright Dust. And on top of that, there is the Biolume shader available on the front page as well. For the main Bright Dust section right here though, we've got the Crabcore legendary emote available for 700 Bright Dust. So if you fancy some heavy crab action right there, you can now partake via the Eververse store. On top of that though, we have the Minuscule Melody emote right here, a rare emote available in the store this week, and that is 400 Bright Dust. We also have the Bright Cycle Shell available right here for 2,850 Bright Dust, a very bright one indeed. And then we've got the Gilded Prowler for 2,000 Bright Dust right here. Pretty cool exotic ship, so we'll have a preview of the trail on that one. Quite an interesting looking thing. Additionally though, there is the Surging Current exotic sparrow available this week as well, and that one will cost 2,500 Bright Dust. And then we've got the Aesthetic Flight, if I'm saying that name correctly, for the Quicksilver Storm as the weapon ornament this week, one from last season right here, which you can add to collections. So a pretty interesting looking thing for 1,250 Bright Dust. On top of that though, there is the Burning Maul projection available as the Ghost projection right here for 1,500 Bright Dust. But for the second page featured shaders, initially we've got Neopop Wave, which obviously is a very, very bright one right there if you still need to pick it up. There is also the Butterbark shader available here. Once again, all of these costing 300 Bright Dust. And then there is the Boreal Char ornament, or shader, should I say, as well. Man, it's so hot in this office. I think I'm going kind of wild. And finally, the Aposmatism shader there as well, also for 300 Bright Dust, and another pretty bright one right there. Finally though, for the Eververse store, we have the Cabal Arrival Transman effect for 450 Bright Dust right there, so if you fancy some drop pod action, it's a good one to grab. On top of that, there's also the Ghost Purple Transman effect right there, if you fancy jumping into the Void. And finally, if you want to be cannon fodder, you can now do it in-game right there, once again, for 450 Bright Dust. So let us know down below if you're going to pick anything up from the Eververse store this week. Up next though, to visit Banshee in the tower right here, we've got the Whispering Slab on the front page today, and it's got Quick Draw and Unrelenting in the traits. There's also the Plank Stride Machine Gun, and this has Mulligan and Swashbuckler for main traits right there. And then there's a Royal Chase with Full Auto Dragonfly, a shame that Full Auto is of course a wasted perk now. But then there's the Enyo D Precision Frame SMG here with Tunnel Vision and Rampage, as well as the Fugue 55 Sniper, and this has got Autoloading Holster and Firing Line in an adaptive frame, so potentially alright roll of that right there. But for the second page, we've got the Boudica sidearm here with Moving Target and Frenzy, and then the Irakanji sniper rifle with Keep Away and Headstone, that's a name I'm always ready to mess up. Also the Stochastic Variable, which is featured very often at Banshee here with Killing Wind Elemental Capacitor, and then the Galu RR3 sniper rifle with Steady Hands and Dragonfly. But finally, for the last couple of weapons, the Typhon GL5 grenade launcher with Genesis and Wellspring, and then we also have the Geodetic HSM sword right here, an adaptive frame Void sword, recently added to the World Pool this season, and it's Burst Guard with Flash Counter and One for All, as well as Nadir Focus right there. So let us know your thoughts on Banshee's inventory down in the comment section, but keep in mind the featured weapons and some of the rolls on these will change throughout the course of the week, so if you want better rolls or to keep an eye on what he has, be sure to check in. Of course, we can't forget about ShADA-1 down here in the annex, so for this week there is the Noble Constant set of gear. This was some vanilla Destiny 2 gear, you may remember right there, so no standout stats particularly on the Titans right here at least, but be sure to check in on your various characters if it is stat rolls that you're after. And then for the featured shaders that Ada has this week, we initially have Dark Omolon right here for 10,000 Glimmer, which will be the same cost for all of the featured shaders in the for the week right there. There's also Echoes of Io, one from Io back in the day, very old school, quite a plain shader. But finally there is War Cult Scheme as well, so if you're looking to add the FWC shader to collections, be sure to visit Ada-1 this week. Up next though, of course, it's worth mentioning we will get a refresh on Crota's End. So new opportunities to pick up any of the weapons now that the weekly lockout has reset. And let us know if you'll be diving back into Crota's End this week. If you're heading into the Root of Nightmares though, we'll see the Nezarec All Hands challenge available, so the featured weapon will be Nessa's Ablation, which is the shotgun for the raid. However, if it's Lost Sectors you're after, to pick up exotic drops and things like that, today we've got K1 Revelation on the Moon dropping exotic legs. That'll be followed by K1 Communion on September 6th dropping exotic gauntlets. And then for September 7th it'll be K1 Crew Quarters dropping chest pieces. September 8th we'll see Concealed Void dropping helmets. And then we'll get Bunker E15 on September 9th dropping exotic legs. September 10th we'll see Bay of Drowned Wishes dropping exotic gauntlets. And finally for the 11th it'll be Vel's Labyrinth dropping exotic chest pieces. And for today guys, that's the breakdown for the weekly reset, new rewards, and some of the activity content for the week. So as always, I hope it's been helpful, and if it has, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. Also get subscribed if you're new around here so I can keep you up to date with the game. And otherwise I will catch you guys very soon.